Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me. And my name is CL Wright, Jedi Wright. And I would like to talk about Bitcoin. It is December 3rd, 2019. And so before I get started, let me say that this is definitely for my records. This is not for any advisory. This is all discretionary, and this is for my documentations, my practice. Okay, so with that being said, it's not for any legal advice or anything in that magnitude. All right, so let's get started. I made a prediction about Bitcoin a couple videos in my over the past year and a half, 2 years. And one of the first videos I made after the question was asked, where's the bottom? 3,200 was my deal. That was on point. Then now this is all on my other page as well. So this is another page here that I'm actually uploading these to. And the last video I made on that page was Bitcoin topping out at 14 to 16,000. And so Bitcoin got to 14,000, and we just so happen to now be at a point where it's December the 3rd, 2019, and we are still at 7,200 or so. Excuse me, on this page, I'm on the wrong thing. I'll take, anyhow, oh boy, all that's wrong, huh? Okay, so we still getting there. Okay, so what we have is a lot of things. I just want to go back over, reiterate what I'm expecting now. And it's not clear fully because it's still in motion to the downside, in my opinion. And so we're gonna starting to keep a little bit closer eye on things to see if we can see a bottom coming on in. I'm on a daily chart currently, and I was drawing some zigzags of one to see if it's gonna actually make my mark here. I do have, this is on a daily chart, but I have a pretty much a range, and of course we're inside that range, so I expect for, even if it goes back up, to get back down to this mark. Doesn't have to. And but that's where I'm at. Do we get down all the way to here to basically 5,800, 5,865 or so, or 5,600 to slowly climb and make our way back up to something of the range of this 9,000 mark before we start to really look at further and see what else we have going on. And of course, if it does get to that point, I expect a pullback before, if it decides to get over that. So that could be a top for another range, or that could be a small pullback. But before we even get to that 9,000, 97, 9,800, 97 target, where are we going? Where are we at currently? And so this is, like I said, I just want to make this video. I don't typically make videos on cryptocurrencies or about Bitcoin. I made them, like I said, 3 or 4 in my time, and that's over the past 2 to 3 years. 2 years, year and a half, 2 years. So my last video was Bitcoin topping out at 16,000, and this is now my next video since then, which we've been at. Now we're down to 7,200 from that 14,000. Okay, so obviously everything in between, I trade the market, currencies and indexes, things in that nature. So again, like I said, I want to keep this short and sweet, and I'm not going to really go into a lot of depth. I did see a lot of different charts concerning Bitcoin, and like I said, I get people confused on that. But again, right now it looks more of a still bearish to the downside, and how we get down there is gonna raise more questions to me to where the bottom is at, or is this just a small pullback before it actually goes further? Okay, so is this, but I consider it and see it as a buying area, and this is still a bull market overall, just in a small inside of a bear market currently. Okay, so I do see this overall as a bull market. I want to repeat that, and no form of fashion of being anything other than that, and nothing is gonna even show that kind of sign no time soon. We just have price movements, but the buyers are still available. The buyers are still in. If you see here, if I can read that to you, and I can just read it to you from here. So we had buyers, but they was at the top of the peak. That was just retailers. That was not big boys, the big boy buyers. You may say the big boy buyers is in here, cool. But when it got up here, that was more of a peak area based on this volume here that I'm looking at. So then we had another red bar volume coming right behind it, and ever since then we've had sell to the downside. Okay, so now we got over here and we get some redness, some greenness, sorry, and of course we still have some red coming on in, but now we still have some green trying to fight its way back on up. Okay, so that's how I would look at it. The action is still to the downside. Buyers haven't fully taken over, but what I see is choppy, frustrating everyone, getting back to the downside still, and may slowly creep its way on up and get into a range before it actually makes its way to the upside. So I would not be surprised to see this area of the low 600s going to the 5800 at the bottom, and possibly a good reaction at the 6400. Okay, before we start to aim for that true target of 9600, and we'll reevaluate it at that time. Thank you for your patience. Again, this is for my practices. This is not anything for your professional advice. Only documentations or records for us to follow and anticipate the market. Stay blessed. Happy pips.